Hello everybody, it's Jim Blacker and I am continuing my YouTube adventure. I haven't done one for a while because I was actually considering just stopping. Sometimes I'm not motivated to do it. They can be a lot of work, and sometimes doing the YouTube thing can just kind of ruin the moment, right? Because you're more focused on wanting to get good footage than just sort of just being present, which is a bit of a struggle. But I've decided to continue because I love documenting what I'm doing just for my own sake, and for those of you that enjoy watching, hey, love that you're watching, so thank you. The next video is me on a trip to Hanoi to renew my passport because I'd actually run out of pages when I'd left to go to Laos and Cambodia. Came back, and so to continue on, I needed a new passport, so I went up to Hanoi. Instead of taking the 5 days, which I thought it would take, it took about 2 weeks. So I spent about 3 weeks up there, and so I did make some getaways. The first one that I'll be sharing with you right here was going out to Cat Ba Island and Lan Ha Bay, as opposed to the better known Halong, which is more developed and more touristy. It's actually all part of the same bay. So if you're gonna go out and do these like boat or day excursions in these really beautiful limestone cliff environments, I would highly recommend doing Lan Ha Bay because there's less people and I think it's just a better option. So check it out. I hope you enjoy it. Because I've got more than a week to wait for my passport, I decided to do a couple of short trips, some getaways. So I'm on my way to Cat Ba Island. You can see I've got my fancy pass. We just got off the bus from Hanoi to the ferry. You can see that we are waiting in the terminal. Good morning, Cat Ba is the tour I'm using so far. Fantastic. It's only about, I think, $12 total to get all the way to Cat Ba Island. They're even dropping me off at the hotel I'm staying at. So I'm going to spend 5 days there. I'm kind of allergic to tours and just always feel like I'm a sheep being herded somewhere. You don't have much of a choice when you're on a bus, but I have opted to actually do a tour tomorrow with Cat going out on Lan Ha Bay and Halong Bay, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's like, just to see the geological formations and be out on the bay. And then from there on Wednesday I head to Ninh Bình, and then on Sunday I head back to Hanoi, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get my passport on Monday. I made it here to Cat Ba, and I'm in the Santorini homestay, which is quite nice. Tien, the owner, is super friendly. It's a family-run joint, and he's got a little son, and they cook breakfast, and he arranged a tour for me to go out into Lan Ha and Halong Bay tomorrow. Tomorrow looks like it's great weather, and then that's Sunday, and then Monday it looks like it's going to be partly rainy or rainy, so I'll do a hike then. So yeah, I'm basically just killing time. I decided not to do Halong Bay just because it looked like a tourist trap, to be honest. I think you need a little more time to go way further out in the bay. So even though I don't like tours, I decided, hey, a day tour tomorrow, it's going to be good weather. I'll make the most of it. Worst case is that, it's touristy and it's not my thing, but it'll still be enjoyable. And best case is it'll be awesome. So let's hope for awesome. But I am on my way to get some bun cha. Starving about now. Interesting thing about this place, there's a little bay and there's kind of a horseshoe loop that goes up into the hills, and there's limestone cliffs on both sides. But in the bay, there is just a huge, massive development. It looks like condos, apartments, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of commerce as well. But I mean, brand new, and we're talking a few acres of it, and it's all under construction, so it's in process. So just like a lot of places I've seen so far in Vietnam, this is under a huge development spree. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like when it's all done. I mean, I won't be here to see it, or maybe I will someday. But anyways, interesting. I'll show you a little bit of the construction. So coming out on the main street here, and I don't know if you can see it, but the whole bay here is just comprised of new construction. So far, this place is just a trip. On the bay side, it's all new construction, newly paved streets. And then on the other side is obviously the old town with all of the hotels. Vietnam is always surprising. There's always something being built. It's pretty stony, really. Cool fountain. That reminds me of the Seattle Center. So you could get your dance on by the fountain. They're pumping some music, and man, if you're into fountains, pretty special. Ladies Beach, it says. But I don't see any ladies. And so I mentioned construction earlier. Man, this is really like they're outdoing themselves. Look at this. This is sick, and I don't mean like sick in a like a Gen Z cool kind of way. I mean it's just kind of gross. God damn. Talk about overdevelopment. So instead of keeping the bay open and maybe having some green space and a park, they've basically turned it into a puke-provoking Disneyland-esque development. So you can buy tofu on the street. I just bought a bag for 5,000 dong, which is like 20 cents. And we'll see what it tastes like. Yeah, it's pretty good. Spongy. Not a lot of taste to it, but I haven't eaten since morning, so I need some protein in my body. Kind of a peculiar place. Over in the main center where all the development's occurring on what would have been the bay, there is, on the way into town, there is a lake or a pond or an inlet, and I'm just doing a loop. There's restaurants. It's less touristy over here. Yeah, it's a cool, chill spot. It's Saturday. So I thought it would be busier, but maybe it's not the season anymore, since maybe it's turned into more of the typhoon season. But perfect weather, not too hot, and yeah, just having a nice walk here, just enjoying. So I did join a group tour. I'm usually allergic to any kind of tours, but I wanted to see Lan Ha and Ha Bay, so I allowed myself to be herded onto a bus, and now we are boarding. our boat, and there is our Vietnamese guide, a local from Cat Ba. And it looks already really cool. So, we'll see how it is. We climbed onto the boat. This is what it looks like so far. And these beautiful rock formations should get more interesting as we head out in the bay. There's plenty of cruises you can take that are 2, 3, 4 days, but I prefer not to be involuntarily trapped. If I ever open a bar in the middle of nowhere, I think I'd like to do it on a little floating house like this. Très charmant. The fishing village that we passed is the oldest fishing village in all of North Vietnam, about 150 years, and the reason it has been so persistent is because it's very much protected from the typhoons that come through by all of the limestone mountain formations all around. They get about 10 typhoons a year. It is really, really spectacular. I highly recommend coming to this part of the world just to see this. C'est très fantastique. So now we have arrived at the secret spot that no one knows about. But it's always par for the course. When they say secret, it means that that's where everyone goes, and that's okay. We are waiting to get into our kayaks, which is part of the tour, and then we'll go paddle around with all the other people doing the same thing. That's okay. It's a nice day. And we'll get a little sun. This is Eva, my kayak partner. Say hello. She's from the Czech Republic. And we're waiting for our leader, our fearless leader. I think he's supposed to guide us.
Strong leader.
So here we are coming up on a cave. It's obviously a secret cave. No one's been here before. We're the first. It's very dark in the cave. And these are stalactites, if I remember correctly, because they might fall. So even though it was not a solitary nature experience whatsoever, it was still amazing. I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm Kevin Costner in Waterworld on this thing. That wasn't a great movie, was it? All the boats tie up here to this little station, and then everyone jumps on kayaks and heads out to the open spaces and also goes through. You can go through caves. There's bats flying around in the caves, and you hear the birds and the monkeys. Pretty amazing. altogether beautiful, unique experience. On the left is really the old development, and then on the right, the huge development project is going on, which we'll go and check out. It's still underway. Oh, okay. Sorry. No motorbikes, but you can kind of get a feel for it. Just brand spanking new. Crazy. And right on the street that I'm on, at the very front of it, they just started tearing down this building. I think just in the past couple of days they started doing that. This is the first beach on the edge of town here. And I rented a little Elite 50. A little bit of a junker, but it's only $100,000 a day, which is $4. And got it for 2 days before I head to Ninh Bình. And I'm on my way to the Cat Ba National Forest. There's a New Lam trail, if I'm saying that correctly, which I'm probably not, that goes up to a peak. And it's supposed to be spectacular. And luckily, the weather seems to be holding. I brought a rain jacket. We'll find out. It can be unpredictable. National Forest is the entire area, the island with the archipelago and all the islands, but also inland where we are now. And I'm going to hike the New Lam Trail. It was 120,000 dong entrance, about $5. Pretty steep by Vietnamese standards, but I'm glad that they're maintaining it for people. So we're gonna head out and see what it's like. The weather decided not to cooperate, but that's okay. I was prepared for the rain. Your friend, when you're traveling, Ziploc bags. That's a pro tip, because camera, cell phone, etc. Just zip them up, and you're good to go. Got my trusty rain jacket, and we're heading up to the peak. So the weather forecast yesterday looked like it would be like this, which is why I decided to do Lan Ha Bay instead, which I'm glad I did. So I'm going on a rainy hike today, but any hike is a good hike. So I made it to the top and it stopped raining. It is quite the scene up here. I must have passed about 50 people on the way up, so the rain didn't keep people away. And it is just gorgeous here in the middle of the jungle, really, with all these amazing limestone cliffs all around. I'm standing in this ghost town that I think is going to be called Sun Paradise Land, and can't help but just feel sad about this kind of development. It looks like it's the same company that developed Sun World Bana Hills, the little Disneyland up in the hills above Da Nang. And it is an impressive scale. I don't know how many buildings they're putting up. I would estimate 30 of these huge multi-unit buildings with the magical fountain, etc. So, not a fan of this kind of shit. Everything gets so gentrified that you don't even know what country you're in after a while. It all starts to look the same. And that's the downside of tourism. You get these brand spanking new condominiums, and it's just kind of makes me like throw up in my mouth a little bit. This town, looking like a ghost town. 10 points to whoever can name that song from the past. Another spot that did the same thing is on Phu Quoc Island. They turned it into a little Disneyland that is now deserted, mainly because COVID hit and they just overbuilt. But you can see the scale of this place. It's unreal. So there's some big money happening in Vietnam right now as far as tourism development. All of these palms that they planted, all of the buildings and the infrastructure, and it's on this gorgeous bay. And just imagine if they'd had the foresight to turn this into a beautiful green space and develop it in an eco-conscious way, but instead they just put up this massive vomit-inducing Disneyland scenario. It's really disappointing. Actually, I think I misspoke. This Sun Paradise Land looks like it is in Sapa, but obviously a brand of Sun Group. So thanks, Sun Group, for developing the fuck out of Vietnam in an ugly way. So now people that aren't concerned about the environment or about experiencing a unique culture can come and spend their time in a land far away and not even feel like they've left. Okay, here we go. The real name of this place is Sun Paradise Land from Sun Group. And here's the background against the old town.
You're something wild I can never tame, and you're taking over.
How obnoxious is that?
All my thoughts and the words I say never seem to matter. You're the blood running through my veins, and the cracks so often.
Yeah, this is what I came to Vietnam for. A musical fountain. Woo! Actually, I think I misspoke. This Sun Paradise Land looks like it is in Sapa, but obviously a brand of Sun Group. So thanks, Sun Group, for developing the fuck out of Vietnam in an ugly way. So now people that aren't concerned about the environment or about experiencing a unique culture can come and spend their time in a land far away and not even feel like they've left. Okay, here we go. The real name of this place is Sun Paradise Land from Sun Group. And here's the background against the old town.
You're something wild I can never tame, and you're taking over
How obnoxious is that?
all my thoughts and the words I say never seem to matter. You're the blood running through my veins, and the cry so often.
Yeah, this is what I came to Vietnam for. A musical fountain. Woo!